Thanks for joining us for City Council Comments. I'm Steve Erickson along with Mayor Jerry Cook. Today we're talking about both the February 6th and our February 20th City Council meetings. Thanks for coming in.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
First show of the year with you. We got Mr. Griskowiak last month.
There you go.
To start off our year, which like we always talk about, that's more of an organizational meeting for the first meeting or two there. Have some item of business to talk about here, but first let's also talk about Snowflake Days, because that wrapped up. Our 60th anniversary celebration went through January 27th through February 11th, so we're just about a week over that, and pretty successful by all accounts.
It really was. You know, there were a couple things we weren't unable to do because of that really nice weather. You know, it's not exactly conducive to snow sculptures and things like that.
Yes.
But 60th anniversary was 3 weeks long. Lots and lots of events, and it was really some great events. Comedy night up at Bunker was full house. The chili feed was a great. The chili competition. Was a great turnout, and some money was raised for community strength. The Miss pageants, the new royalty were the family fun days. Lots of events. Yeah,
I heard it was still successful, even though they weren't able to do the kids' medallion hunt at Sand Creek Park. They had some fun out there, and then also the next day, that new event that happened at Riverdale Village. I know they had a petting zoo and some other stuff up there. That was really well attended. Yeah,
they had like 2,000. I think they were giving out like cups of hot chocolate or something, and there was like 2,000 cups they went through. That was kind of how they figured out how many were there. But Riverdale's been a great partner with us for many things now, and now they embraced Snowflake Days and wanted to have their own event up there.
All right. Well, it'll be back next year again, I imagine, but all the volunteers did a great job this year putting it together for a special event for the 60th anniversary. A lot more events than we normally have, including the ice sculpture. I don't know when it eventually melted. It looked like it got taken apart midway through. And was at another, I think at the Riverdale event.
Or
somewhere I saw it in like 3 different pieces.
So when they assembled it, they assembled it as Chanticleer, and I think that was in 3 pieces or 5 pieces, and then they fused it all together and do the final carvings. And it was a beautiful ice bar for the 60th anniversary, and I think it was about 45 degrees, within hours of it going up, and it just kind of started melting down. They did everything they could.
That's how it ended up in its 3 pieces.
Former Mayor Tim Howe was over there with quilts and blankets and plastic and trying to preserve it, and so it was really nice while it lasted.
Yeah, it was cool. To watch him carve that and put it together, it was just really pretty cool. So hopefully people got a chance to check that out while it was there.
Who would have known?
I know. And then, it was freezing the week before. Like you said, they were talking about how do we put heaters out here to keep people, warm, and then the warm spell came.
So. It switched.
All right, let's move along into our meeting here that we want to talk about first, the Tuesday, February 20th meeting. First item there is council accepted the donation of a park bench.
So we accepted a donation of $700 for the memories of Lois and Gerald Armstrong, and we're always thankful when folks step up and contribute like that. It creates a nice legacy, a nice memory, and it's appreciated.
Yeah, we've had several of these now, so they seem to be becoming a little more popular, or people are at least knowing that this option is available.
I had somebody ask a couple weeks ago about if they can also do like trees in memory, and apparently there's a way they can do that also. They just have to talk to the forester, so that's something else they can consider, I guess.
All right. Moving forward, council held a public hearing and considered a resolution ordering the project and approving plans and specs and authorizing the bids. This is for our street reconstruction program for 2024. We're doing a little bit less this year than we have in previous years, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of years where we were still trying to catch up, and we were doing 10 miles a year. And this year we're only doing 2.7 miles, but it's a big portion of it is a very large scale project. It's redoing all of the streets, water mains, curbs, gutters, everything in Woodcrest, which is one of our older neighborhoods. So it's going to require a lot of work. So it's the Woodcrest neighborhood, and then they're doing the reconstruction of Goldenrod over behind the post office, and then down off East River Road, 90th Avenue, and Norway Street. It's just a little, like a half a block segment, and then a little block back there on Norway Street. It's a beautiful little neighborhood that you have no idea it's there unless you're going there, because it's just a T.
Yeah. Okay. So the residents that are impacted have already been notified. This process starts really months. There's several steps in the process that council has to approve. I'm sorry, was this the assessment hearing then, or is that still to come?
This was the public hearing and the assessment hearing.
Okay.
And there was one family that spoke up opposed to the assessment, and so they have preserved their right to challenge the assessment by putting in their letter.
Okay.
So now they'll deal with the attorney. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever happens in that process. But we've talked about this before. It's obviously you have to do street reconstruction, and you just move to different areas every year. We rank the streets according to what needs to be done next.
Yep.
But as far as the assessments, residents wind up paying, was it about 20 to 30%, I think he said? I can't remember if it was 20 or 30, but.
Well, they actually shoot for 50% total,
Right.
But the individual homes, it's $2,377 is their total contribution. They can pay it up front, or if they do nothing, it just automatically rolls into their property taxes, gets paid out over 10 years at, I thought he said 4% or 4.5%, low interest.
Yep.
It ends up to be about $307 a year. I forgot my notes.
Yeah,
but
that sounds about right.
yeah, and they just add it right onto your property taxes, and then that, however you pay those, some people pay them every May and every October, and some people it's paid by their mortgage company, and then it just gets divided out over 12 months.
Yeah, okay. So there's options if you're not able to pay the amount up front, if you need to. But some cities tax the whole amount, right? So we've just always done this partial.
Yeah.
How our budgeting is set up.
Yeah, so they kind of held up some of the other communities. We are by far the lowest in what we charge, up to like Anoka is about $10,000.
Yeah, which would be a lot higher of a surprise bill to get, I would think. So it's nice that we have some of that already figured into the general fund, and then you pay the remainder.
There was a year we did a border street with Andover, and the folks on the south side, on the Coon Rapids side, were assessed like around $2,000, and the folks on the other side were assessed significantly more because they were residents of Andover.
Yeah, yeah. So. That dividing line could be important.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, more to come on that. The contacts will come up as far as authorizing the bids eventually for the actual construction.
Correct.
All right. Moving forward, council considered a resolution accepting bids and awarding the contract for 2024 mill and overlay and full depth reclamation projects. So these are some other streets that are going to be done around the city. Yeah.
These are some other streets that either didn't make it as long as they should have, or we need to just kick it down the road a little bit further. And a mill and overlay is a really good value to get about another 10 really good years out of a street. We've got several streets that we're doing a mill and overlay, so they're doing about half the depth of the asphalt will be ground up and then put back down again. And then a couple of the streets, like 113th and Direct River Drive, the asphalt is too thin to do half, so they do a full reclamation, but it's the same process, grind it up, put it back down again. And there's no assessments for that because all we're doing is really kicking that reconstruction down the road a little bit more.
Okay. So this is a reminder, our other season is almost here, right? As we talk about road construction.
Yeah. Well, and what's nice about the mill and overlay is it's a real quick process. Yeah. It's very low interruptions for the neighbors. Yeah. You can run into some problems like we did on Robinson Drive, where we ended up causing mainline water breaks. Yeah. But you can't control everything, and you just do your best.
What do you do, right? All right. Council considered a resolution approving plans and specifications and ordering an ad for bids. This is for our annual street maintenance program. Yeah. So this is for some other stuff around the city.
Yeah. This is for seal coating, for striping, for anything that needs to be done like that. Yeah. and we are the lead partner. There's a coalition of now 17 cities that all partner together, so you get a real economy of scale. Yeah. We just added Champlin to this coalition. Okay. So now when we go out for bids, and we're getting bids for seal coating or for fogging or whatever it is, they're doing a bid for 17 communities all at once. You've got a real economy of scale, and it saves us money.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Any bit of money that we can save is certainly important. So it's nice to see other people seeing value in the consortium, and they keep joining that. So
right. Yeah, and like I say, we just earlier we amended the agreement to add Champlin. So now I think we've got 3 communities on the other side of the river. We've got Brooklyn Center, Rogers, and Champlin all participating, along with 14 on this side.
All right. Well, it's great to see the partnership in that. Moving forward, Council considered a resolution approving plans and specifications and ordering the ad for bids. This is for the new Coon Creek Trail. This is a project that was part of the 2013 park bond referendum.
Right. Yeah, the money for this has been set aside since the 2013 park bond referendum, and it's the last leg. It's taken a long time to figure it out. Mm-hmm. We had to do some acquisition of some property that was out over the trail boundaries. We had a new development come in that we had to deal with getting the trail through that. We've got areas that need to be boardwalk. There's just been a lot of things, a lot of moving parts on this. Yeah. And now it's going out for bids, and it's going to be about a 1-year build. They figure they'll get all the trails done this summer, and then over the winter, when things freeze up, is when they'll construct the boardwalk. It takes a while to get the boardwalk built, and then when the ground freezes up, then they can get in and they can do the install. So it should be done like May of 25.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be about a 1-year build.
So for people that don't know where this is, we're talking basically on the west side of Hanson, kind of north of the Holiday and McDonald's and Taco Bell.
It's basically a connection from Lyons Coon Creek Park. Yep. Around to Main Street over by Lowe's.
Yeah. So then west over to Lowe's essentially.
Yeah. And then there'll be a trail connection up there, and it's just all about getting all of our trails connected. And there's some folks that aren't very excited about this because they have, their homes back up to this wetland, and now there's going to be a trail through there. But we've done the research on it. We have tons of trails in town that go through people's backyards. Yeah. And we had the GIS overlay the crime map, and it doesn't raise the crime level or anything, and our residents highly value our trails and our parks, and the neighbors internally in those neighborhoods are really excited for the trail and the opportunity to get out there and walk on more trails or bike. So, so it's sometimes you just have to power through.
Yeah, not everybody is going to be happy, certainly. All right, moving forward, Council considered a resolution accepting plans and specifications for miscellaneous trail reconstruction and authorizing the solicitation of bids. We do this annually, too, and have some different segments, right, that they're looking to fill in.
Yeah, and I did not... Yeah, so let's see.
Pull up the map.
Yeah, here we go.
Did you get it?
So we're looking at Round Lake Boulevard. There's a segment located on the east side between the Railroad Bridge overpass and Main Street. So that would be kind of up by Home Depot up there.
Okay.
The Sand Creek Trail, there's a segment from 121st Avenue south along the railroad tracks to the Sand Creek Trail intersection. And then down on Coon Rapids Boulevard extension, kind of by the old clay hole, little east of that, there's a segment from the, I like this, the Met Council lift station. Clearly they are not marketing that trail. No. From the Met Council lift station to Sycamore Street. So that's what that is.
Okay. So this is just a continuation of connecting trails and some other segments that are not there.
Right. Yeah, and anywhere you've got gaps, you try and fill them in. And typically there's a reason if there's a gap, there's either an acquisition or there's some process that needs to happen. I mean, we closed up a lot of gaps along Coon Rapids Boulevard over the last several years. Yeah. And now my guess is part of this had to wait until the railroad reconstructed that bridge over the Coon Rapids Boulevard extension, because that would be right in the middle of this trail.
All right. Well, that concluded our streets and trails meeting. That's pretty much what we had on the agenda from the 20th was the Mark Hansen show. All right, let's move back now to our first meeting of the month, which was Tuesday, February 6th. One of the first items there was an appointment to one of our commissions.
Yeah. Our Arts Commission is a real busy commission. Yeah. They're the ones that do the concerts in the park. They do the dessert concert series. They do tree lighting, photography contests. They have a lot going on.
Yep.
But it's actually also a very fun commission to serve on.
Yes.
And we were appointing Helen, and I think it's Coon. I'm not sure. It's K-O-C-O-N, to the Arts Commission, and we thank all of them for their service, and we thank Helen for stepping up and volunteering.
Yes. They have a fun job. They get to organize all the concerts and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a busy job. They have a lot going on, but I think it's also an enjoyable.
Yeah, what they do, exactly. All right, Council approved the ICWC program contract between the state of Minnesota and the city. This is expanding a little bit, right?
Yeah, so this is, and I was going to see what that acronym stands for.
It's institutional work
it's
crew?
the Institution Community Work Crew.
Okay.
And these are the folks, the low-risk offenders that they get out of lockup, prison, what you call it, to do work around the community. And they love getting out, and they love doing the work, and they're really hard workers. And they're always together. You can't split them up. They always have to work together.
Right.
And they work hard, and it's thousands of hours of work that we get from them for a very small amount of pay, because it's like $1 an hour or something. Yeah. Which they're thrilled. Yeah. They're thrilled. And so at any rate, we added a second crew this year. So we did a 1-year contract with the state for that, because that will then line it up with our other crew that we do the contract every 2 years. Yeah. So we did a 1-year for this crew, and then next year we'll do a 2-year contract again, assuming it's working out well for both crews.
All right. Seems like a win-win for the city. Like, we can have our crews do other things that need to be done while these crews do other things.
It really is. I shared at the council meeting that I had the opportunity to work side by side with them when we were setting up the carnival. Yeah. And oh my gosh, like I say, because they have to work together. Yeah. They came in and they knocked out the project that I was working with Ole from Public Works at the time. I mean, it was all of a sudden we went, oh, we're done. Yeah. Real hard workers and seemed like real good guys, and yeah.
All right. Moving forward, Council approved a planned unit development extension. This is for the Rachel development at 311 124th Avenue. This is a memory care.
It's an assisted living. Okay. Right across the street from Menards, right next to the storage. Yep. And it looks like a great project, but they needed difficulty with funding or interest rates or something, so we had to give them a 1-year extension. So if folks were following along and they were wondering when it was going to start, it's going to be at least another year down the road.
Okay, but they're still planning to move forward at this point in time.
Still planning. They still have their approvals in place.
All right. Council approved the recommendation for reappointment of a charter commission member. This one's unique. This is the one that has to go to the courts, right, for approval. Right. Members that are appointed to our charter commission.
Right. All we can do is make a recommendation, and we make a recommendation to the chief judge of the 10th Judicial District. And so we recommended that Stephanie Masteller, again, I don't know. Yes. And I apologize if I'm messing that up terribly. But we recommended her appointment to the judge, and hopefully they honor that.
Alrighty. Council adopted an ordinance rezoning from office to general commercial. This property at 3161 Northdale Boulevard. This is the old realty company?
It's the old Edina Realty building, right across from Dino's Euros there. Yep. I shouldn't have started that one. Yeah. Now I'm hungry. Yeah. But it's been empty for a while. There's There used to be Edina Realty and then Edina Realty Title. And then they all moved out. And then the end that was the title company is now like Park Nicollet Dental or something. It's a dentist anyway, which left the rest of the building. And originally that was kind of all general commercial. And now the Red Cross would like to come in there, and they can't come into office space, which is what the zoning is currently. So we're changing that all back to general commercial. That works for the dentist, works for Red Cross, you know, and that's really what the area is.
Okay, so the Red Cross wants to put a blood collection facility there, and then we have one nearby, right? Memorial Blood Centers, I believe, has one in the Wells Fargo building or in that area.
Yeah, just within a block in the Wells Fargo building. I think they're still there.
I believe so. At least that's where they were when we did a story probably 10 or 15 years ago now. Yeah. Time goes pretty fast. All right. Council considered the appointment of election judges and approved salaries for the presidential nomination primary.
Yeah. That election is coming up on Tuesday, March 5th.
Yep. Super Tuesday.
Super Tuesday,
as they call it.
Oh, all right.
That's what they call it, because there's, I don't know, a lot of states that have the primary that day.
A lot of people are thinking there's nothing super about this year.
No, not 2024. Nope.
But let's go on. So early voting is going on right now, and that'll go all on over at City Hall through the March 4th.
Yep.
And then, Monday to March 4th.
Yep.
And then Super Tuesday was the election. Yeah, so at any rate, we approved the election judges and the salaries. And if anybody wants to see if they need any further help, it's just a matter of watching an online training video.
Yep.
And the city clerk's office would be happy to tell them if they are needed.
Yeah, because they have 3 elections this year with the nomination primary for the president, and then there will still be the normal primary election coming up this summer in August, and then, of course, the general election in November. So they will need people for that. So if you're interested, reach out to the city clerk's office. And again, if you want to vote in the presidential nomination primary, you can do that right now at City Hall. They're open current business hours. There will be some extended hours the Saturday before Super Tuesday, but you can go online to the city's website and find out all that information. They are on to direct balloting right now, so you can actually place your ballot in.
Oh, it doesn't go in the envelope.
Yeah, that started
Nice.
last Friday.
Nice.
So you can put it right in the machine like you would do it at a poll. Otherwise, if you want to vote on primary day, you can do that on Tuesday, March 5th. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. here in Coon Rapids. And so you got options.
Yep. And if you're not sure where you vote, go onto the Secretary of State's website. You punch in your address. It'll tell you exactly where to go.
All right. Want to quickly mention Council adopted resolutions basically approving the 2024-25 Police Sergeant's Labor Agreement and also the 24-25 Police Captain Labor Agreement. This kind of follows previous action by the Council.
Right. The patrol officers and the sergeants, and you've got to get those done first because then these kind of build up. Just it's a gap from the other level, and so we thank staff for all the work getting this put together, and especially for our police for all the service they do for the community. And
pretty much our police and police sergeants and captains are basically me too. Once the patrol officer's contract gets figured out, there were some step increases there for market rate adjustments in both years, along with cost of living increases. Obviously, there's been upward pressure on salaries there in recent years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Demand for law enforcement officers is really high.
Yeah.
And the inventory, how do you want to say?
It's less
available. The pool to draw from is getting very small.
Yeah.
And we still want to maintain the absolute top officers, and so we have to have a competitive contract.
Yep. All right, that was all the items we have to talk about from our council agenda. I wanted to mention quickly here that our front door program, the deadline is coming up for folks to submit an application for that.
Yeah, Wednesday, February 28th, and this is that curb appeal. Anything that dresses up your curb appeal, replacing the front siding, the driveway, the sidewalk, anything like that.
Yep.
And then there's only going to be, I don't remember how many they draw, but about a week after the deadline, they'll actually draw the folks that get selected.
All right, yes, and we will have that. It's a virtual drawing. We'll have that live on Facebook and YouTube. So listen for your names. We wish everybody good luck that has submitted an application, because definitely there's always more demand than what there is as far as funding for those grants.
Yep. And then if you get selected, you can head right to the North Suburban Home Show Saturday, March 9th, and find your contractor.
That was a smooth transition there. That, is from 8 to 2 at the Andover YMCA Community Center. So check that out. I know you were there last year. I was there last year getting some video. Very impressive, like, turnout. The people that are there, the number of booths that they have.
Oh my gosh, it's grown and grown, and it's if you've got any questions about anything in or around your home or property, everybody's there.
Yeah,
all kinds of contractors.
All right. Also wanted to mention that our second of 3 winter concerts is coming up. That's on Thursday, March 14th, 7 p.m. That's the Riverside Rockets.
Oh, okay.
So that's what's happened there. And then there's one more concert in April.
And that's the dessert series where you...
Yeah, we had one last this year. There wasn't a January concert, so our first one was this month. That's always a good turnout.
Very good.
That's all I got, unless you have anything else to add.
I think we're good.
We could mention, though, that our next meeting is actually going to be on Monday, March 4th. Due to Super Tuesday, we can't have a meeting on that day, or we can't have one until after 8 p.m. when the polls close. So
right, and that's just too much.
So we moved it to the Monday the 4th, March 4th at 7 p.m. in the council chambers.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Appreciate you coming in today, Jerry, and talking to us. Thank you at home for watching, and we'll see you back here again after our 2 meetings in March.